Hi, my name's Ollie and I am the founder of the Wise Fitness Academy. Today I'm going to show you how to do a squat as an older adult or as a senior. Now, the squat is one of the best exercises to help preserve or even grow muscle mass and strength in your legs. And there are tons of variations to the squat, which can make it suitable for those of you who have limited mobility or issues such as arthritis. And I'm going to go through all of those right now. The squat essentially simulates the standing to sitting and the sitting to standing movement pattern. We do it all the time in everyday life, and that's why it's really important to stay strong in this movement pattern. The starting position for the squat is to have your feet about shoulder width apart, have your feet slightly turned out, and I'm going to pretend that I'm going to sit my bum back into a chair that's slightly too far back. Watching carefully, feet shoulder width apart, toes turned out. I'm going to break at the hips. I'm sitting my bum backwards, coming down into that imaginary chair and back up. I'll do a couple more so you can see. Now, if you are comfortable doing squats like this, then you can carry on and do your required sets and reps. However, just as I mentioned before, there are so many variations that we can try and use if you have limited mobility and don't feel quite confident enough to do the squats without having some support. The first variation that I really like and a lot of the Wise Fitness Academy members use is the chair squat. So from this position, I'm going to have my feet shoulder width apart, my toes slightly pointed out like normal, and I'm just going to control my body into the chair. Once my bum touches the chair, I can slowly come back up. From here, I can repeat. Now, the chair squat is a really nice variation because it is just quite comforting knowing that the chair is there to save you from falling if you sort of lose strength and need to just sit into the chair. If you have limited mobility or strength, you might find that you get sort of part of the way down and your strength will kind of give out and you'll need to just sort of sit down into the chair. And that's absolutely fine. Once you're sat into the chair, you're going to just come back up to the standing position. Again, nice and controlled. And this is the chair squat. So you can use the chair squat to do your required amount of sets and reps. Now, what you do with your arms when you squat is up to you. As you've probably noticed already, mine tend to come out in front of me and the arms actually act as a nice counterbalance as I sit back. Watching again, my arms right in front, bum touches on the chair and back up. Now, another nice squat variation for those with limited mobility is to use the back of the chair as an upper body support whilst you do the squat movement. Setting up in exactly the same way, so feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed out. This time I'm going to grab the back of the chair. I'm going to perform the squat movement, but I can use the chair as support so I can use my upper body strength to help come up from that movement. Again, it can just be nice and comforting, holding on to something, knowing that that chair is there for support. Now, just a couple of common mistakes I often see with the squat is called the valgus knee or knee caving. And that's when, as we squat, our knees tend to collapse inwards. And this is something that you really want to avoid. Okay, so as we squat, try and let your knees track over your toes. So ideally, just keep them pushed out to the side during the movement. Try not to let those knees collapse inwards. The other thing I commonly see is the heels coming up off the floor during a squat. And that's not what we want, okay? If your heels are coming up, it's probably because you're not sitting your bum back enough. If you break at the hips and sit back, your feet should be flat on the floor all the way through the movement, coming back up. And the last thing I'm going to mention is range of motion, okay? Now, obviously, sitting into a chair is naturally, automatically going to take you to a 90-degree-ish bend in the knee, and that's a pretty good range of motion. For those of you who do have limited mobility or arthritis, a smaller range of motion is fine, and we call those partial squats. So same setup, feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out. This one, I'm going to come a quarter of the way down before coming back up. Quarter of the way down before coming back up. Now build strength in that range of motion first. As you progress and get stronger, you'll find that you can start to get lower, okay, during the squat movement. And eventually you'll be able to come all the way down to 90 comfortably before coming back up. Guys, that's the squat. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below and I will get those answered for you. Now, don't forget, we're running a 2-week free trial at the Wise Fitness Academy. We do monthly workouts exclusively for seniors and older adults. The workouts can all be done at home and they change every month. We have a whole great community of older adults across the world all doing these home workouts, developing strength and mobility as they age. Come and join us.